Hello and welcome to this demo of Databroker. In this video, we will see how we can sell and buy data using this platform. To start with, we'll go to My Account section and navigate to Data Exchange Controller. Data Exchange Controller, or DXC, is used to map various data sources, which can be used to define data products we want to sell. On this page, we will find the setup files and the instructions. For installing DXC, we need a couple of things. One, we need a server with Docker environment setup. And two, of course, we need the internet connectivity on that server. I have downloaded the setup files and I will proceed to accessing my development server. So this is a Linux machine. We have Docker installed. And I'll navigate to the folder DXC. These are the setup files which I have downloaded from the platform. Drive is the folder where we typically keep the data files we want to sell. So I'll copy this folder and then cd to this directory. Here we have the environment file where we have our environment variables. We have our YML Docker compose file, and we have a script which can be used to configure various parameters in these two files. We'll give permissions and run this script. It asks for the host name or the host URL. Here I'm entering the IP address or the public IP for this server. Now it asks on which port we would like to run DXC APIs. Say we want to do it on 1111. Then it will ask on which port we would like to access DXC UI. Let's say 2222. Now we can define the login credentials for the DXC. The default is admin. I'll go with the default values, admin and password. Similarly, we can configure the app title, app URL, and the support email. We'll go with default values. And yep, there we go. Our DXC is installed and running on this URL. Here we will log in using the credentials we defined. Now it will ask for the account ID and DXC key. So here on the DXC page, we'll get our account ID, copy it. Similarly, we'll copy the DXC key, paste it here, and then hit the sync button. Now we will see that the sync is okay, and we get the time and date. At this moment, we do not see available DXCs, but as we have authenticated one here, now when I will refresh this screen, we get our DXC. Here it is showing as pending because I need to authorize. And now the DXC is authorized. Here we do not see any data sources because we have not mapped any. For mapping the data source, I'll proceed to this tab. Let's start with a file which is sitting on the server. So we'll select network protocol as local and data type as file. Now, before I do that, I need to copy that file in the drive folder. So here we have a drive folder. And for example, we want to sell data related to some electric vehicle. Let's see what file it is. So it's electric vehicle design and some parameters. So what I have done is I have copied the file I want to sell, or the data file I want to sell, in the drive folder. I will return to the DXC. I'll define the file path. I will name it as EV design and then map the data source. Oops. Yep, there we go. So we have added our first data source. Similarly, we can add APIs. For example, here I'll go to Postman and say that this is one of the APIs which a data seller has. I will call it as age API, and I'll map this one too. So we have mapped two data sources. In the API section, we can add fields. We can define if they're query param or path param. Similarly, we support data streams. There can be some kind of MQTT stream where we can define the topic and so on. And then in files, we can have something over HTTP or HTTPS or FTP. Once we have mapped these data sources, let's see if they are reflecting here. Yep, and we see a couple of data sources which are available for selling. So far, we are done with the setup on the DXC side. Now I will again go to my account section and go to my data offers and products. Here, I would like to publish a new data offer, and it says that it looks like it's the first time. So here we will get an overview of how it works. And before we start, it will ask some more information about the seller's profile. So, for example, where am I located? Suppose, yeah, I'll select something here. I'll select the company website, the VAT number. I can upload company's logo. And then it will provide some more guidance on how we can publish the data offer. So let's start. We are selling EV design data, which covers, say, Europe. And I'm going to publish it in transport community. Communities are data categories. And yeah, you can select transport here. So it's like the subcategory where we want to publish the data within this larger data community. I can add an image here. So this is the image we'll use to represent this data. Next. More details about the data. It is a good data. Yep. Some use cases. Many good use cases. We can add an example file here, which will be freely accessible. And we can also add an image which will represent what kind of data we are selling. So for example, I have this, and then publish on marketplace. And there we go. The data offer or the data set has been published. Now let's see if we can find it. So I'll go to transport community, and yeah, there we go. We have this EV design data offer. We can see what all we have defined about the data and the use case, the example here. What we do not have yet is a data product. So we can add the data product here. For example, we are selling design parameters which cover Africa. Now it asks how we are going to share the data. We can do it publicly, or we can also do it privately. For example, we can create an organization BMW, and then we can add more users, invite more users to that organization, and share the data only with that organization. At this moment, I'll keep it public. Suppose we want to sell the file, and I'm keeping the price as free for 1 week, so that for the demo purpose, we can easily buy it. But we can also set a price without bidding for a specific period. We can set a price but allow bids, and then we can go for the market where we say that we are not setting a price and people can send their bids. I'll keep it as free. Now it asks for identifying my data source. I'll say I'll select this from my DXC. Now here in this drop down, we'll see all the DXCs which are mapped with this account or synced with this account. Here we see those data products which we have mapped here. So this is something which is happening in the data sellers environment. We have declared that we have these data sources. Now I will select file, any additional info, yeah, something, and then we can define a URL where buyers can read the data license. I'll publish it, and the data product is published successfully. I can see this in my account, and I can see this on the marketplace. In my account, I get an option to edit it, unpublish it, delete or duplicate it, and here we see the data products which we have mapped. And similarly, I can go on the marketplace and see how it is looking. So now we get a file design param for Africa. Similarly, we can add another data product. So let's do it real quick. API EV, suppose, or API age for Europe. And this time I'm selecting API flow, again free. And I'll select the API. And publish this one too. Now we see both our data products are published. One is a file, other one is an API flow. So now we will start thinking as a data buyer. And we will go to transport community, come across this data product and decide to buy it. As it is free, we do not have an option to make payments here. But if it was priced, then we'll need to make those payments before we can access the file. I will accept the terms and conditions, and we see this download file button. Sometimes the file opens in the browser itself, and if you want to avoid that, we can right click and go for the save link as option. At this moment, I'll try to open it in the browser itself because we know it is a PDF. And there we go. This is the file which we were trying to sell. So this is how we can sell and get data. Now we also had an API. Now let's try to see how we can access this API as a data buyer. So I'll go for get data. I'll accept the terms and conditions, confirm. And here we go. We get the server API server URL. We'll copy this. And we also get the API product key. So we can use something like Postman to test this out. So to receive the API based data, I'll have the server here. Now if we see, this was the data seller's API. It's coming on a different URL altogether, and then it is going through the DXC, and this is the URL which is for the DXC. Now another thing which we have here is the API product key. We hit this copy key button here, and in the headers we pass this information DXC product key. And yeah, there we go. We get 200 OK, we get a response. So this is how API based data buying and selling can happen. Here now we see some more options have appeared. We get an option where we can see the bids which were received, what sale has happened, my private data network, and so on and so forth. For example, in my purchases, I bought these couple of data products. So we can see the data products, we can see when the warranty expires, and a few more details. So this was a short demo of how you can sell and buy data on this platform. If you need any assistance, feel free to write to us on support@databroker.global. Thanks for watching.